They were supposed to become a luxury retail giant. That was 2024. This is 2026. Bankruptcy. Check this out. Oh man, some of you guys not going to be doing very much shopping. You got Saks Global, the company that owns Saks Fifth Avenue, Berghoff Goodman. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy late last night. Let me give you guys the numbers. $136 million. That's what they owe Chanel alone. $59 million to Gucci's parent company. $33 million to Michael Kors, and between $10,000 and $25,000 to creditors. Some of the biggest names in fashion waiting to get paid. But here's the part that should stop you guys pretty darn cold. In 2024, guess who invested into them? Amazon did. Amazon invested into this company. Salesforce invested into this company. $2.7 billion deal. They bought Neiman Marcus. They were supposed to become a luxury retail giant. That was 2024. This is 2026. Bankruptcy. Ain't that something? God dang. How time doesn't stand still and how things move fast. The CEO, Mark Metrick, 30 years with the company, stepped down earlier this month, replaced by Richard Baker. I want you guys to type Saks in the chat if you see or if you saw this coming. Okay? Here's why this matters. If $2.7 billion in Amazon backing and Salesforce backing can't save you, then capital loan ain't the answer. It's not the answer, guys. Positioning is the answer. Strategy is the answer. This morning, I got the data on what's really happening in the workforce. Managers now have 12 direct reports on average, up from 8 just a few years ago. I got Dell announcing the biggest transformation in 42 years of history. May 3rd deadline. No going back. I got Amazon, which we talked about, tracking badge swipes now. 91% of workers unhappy, 73% thinking about leaving. And I got the opportunity data as well, where jobs actually are. Healthcare dominating, AI roles surging, and something called the founder escape, up 69%. The market is restructuring, guys. The question is, are you positioning for what's coming? Or are you going to be like Saks? I don't know if you want to be like Saks now. Let's take it over to Saks real quick and let you guys hear the news. Check this out.
Breaking this morning, Saks Global, the parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue, has filed for bankruptcy. The move is setting up what could be the largest retail collapse in years.
Aziza Schuler is live outside the flagship store in Midtown. Aziza, it was just lit up for the holidays, and now this.
Yeah, very disappointing and unfortunate to hear this news. The company says it's dealing with billions of dollars in debt, slower sales, and strained relationships with the designers and brands that stock its shelves. Now, to stay afloat, Saks says that it filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy and secured about $1.75 billion in financing to keep operating while it restructures. So what does this mean for shoppers right now? Saks Global, which also owns Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus, says stores and websites will stay open, loyalty programs will still work, employees will be paid, and vendors will get their money. But the bigger issue is what pushed the company here in the first place. Luxury shopping has changed. More people are buying online, turning to resale like secondary boutiques, or shopping directly from brands instead of department stores. However, New York City is no stranger to this. We have been losing luxury department stores for decades, and the list of those gone now far outnumbers the ones still standing. Now, many New Yorkers remember some of the luxury iconic department stores like Gimbel's and B. Altman, which faded out in the late 80s. More recently, Barney's and Lord & Taylor closed its doors in 2019, I believe. And now we have Saks, which has been here on Fifth Avenue since 1924, more than a century. And it really helped Fifth Avenue become this world-class shopping destination that it is. It's unfortunate to see that its future is uncertain.
You guys heard it. How are you positioning yourself for what's coming, guys? Or are you going to be like Saks? That's the question that I have for you guys. Hoping capital is going to save you. Guys, this is a daily climb. Let's look at the data, okay? Let's look at the data this morning. I came across an article, and it's about the great flattening. What's happening to management in corporate America and what it means for your position. Let's get into it, okay? Gallup, they just dropped new data on managers. And guess what, guys? The numbers tell the entire story. In 2013, the average manager had 8.2 direct reports. Manager, I know how many reports I had. 2013, I think I had about 6 or something along those lines. 2015, I had like 9. But the average manager had about 8.2 direct reports, according to the study. 8 people reporting to one manager. By 2019, that number went up to 9. By 2024, 10.9. And now in 2025, 12.1. That is a 47% increase since 2013. And here's the number that really matters, guys. 13% of managers now have 25 or more direct reports. 25 people, one manager. And 97% of managers, or 97% of them are also doing individual contributor work on top of their leadership responsibilities. I want you guys to type flat in the chat if your team got bigger while headcount stayed the same. Okay? A lot of people are feeling this. Now, let me tell you why this is happening. Amazon CEO actually said it. He put it in his memo. He said having fewer managers will remove layers and flatten organizations more than they are today. He said this: if we do this work well, it will increase our teammates' ability to move fast. Translations: companies are cutting middle management to save money, calling it efficiency. Intel did it. Meta did it. Amazon did it. Jim Harther from Gallup, he's their chief scientist of workplace management. And he said something important. He said, I don't think increasing span of control blindly is going to work very effectively if those conditions aren't taken into account. Conditions. Well, what conditions? Whether managers have time to actually manage, whether they're drowning in their own work, whether anybody's getting career development anymore. That's what those conditions are. Let me tell you about Yvonne Lee Hawkins. She was a middle manager, went from managing 0 people to 21 direct reports. And here's what she said. She said, our meetings became transactional because we only had time to discuss the most urgent issues. We no longer had time to get to know each other, ask questions, seek advice, or work on career development. So she quit. She hit burnout. I want you guys to type 21 if managing 21 people with no support sounds almost impossible. Now, here's what this means for your positioning. If your manager has 25 direct reports, you are invisible unless you make yourself visible. If your manager is drowning in their own work, they ain't looking and thinking about your career. They're not thinking about your career development. They're not thinking about you. So you got to think about your own career development. The flattening rewards self-starters, people who don't wait for direction, people who make themselves essential. And Gallup found that managers who have at least one meaningful conversation with each employee every single week, their teams do substantially better. But if your manager has 12 direct reports plus their own work, how many meaningful conversations you think they're going to have? How much time are you think they're going to be spending on you? How much time do you think they're going to be worrying about you? Many times you get up and go to work and you think that your managers are really out there to get you. Well, if they got 12, 25 direct reports, they don't know about you. They don't care about you like that. But here's the thing. It is on you to have those conversations. You got to create those conversations. You got to make yourself seen. You got to set up those one-on-one meetings. You got to make sure you check in. You got to make sure you send those status reports and you send your brag book ideas or the things that you accomplish from the previous week. And guys, if you can't catch the live stream every single morning, make sure that you are subscribed to the newsletter. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, you get a full recap of everything that we covered at 11:30 a.m. Central. The data, the stories, the strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Link is in the description. Make sure you sign up to the newsletter. We have no idea what YouTube's going to be doing to the Way Report, to the ETTU channel. The way to access me is through the newsletter. The way to keep up is through the newsletter. If I shift, you shift. I can do that and I can communicate through the newsletter. And check this out. If this show has helped you see the market clearer, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this with somebody who needs to see the data. Someone navigating a career transition right now. someone who just needs help, somebody who needs some inspiration, somebody who needs a group. Again, the newsletter lands Monday through Friday, full recap of everything so you never miss what's going on in the business world.